Welcome to everyone, and thank you for joining our presentation, Charting the Course for Middle School Career Development, Lessons Learned. I'm really excited to be here with you today to talk about steps that we can take to engage middle school students in the career development process. My name is Tonya Gokita, and I am a Secondary Transition Associate at VCU's RRTC Center on Transition Innovations. It is my great pleasure to be presenting alongside my amazing colleagues from Loudoun County as they share their wisdom and reflections about career development and transition at the middle school level. Jenna, Arndt, and Suzanne Burch. Before we begin, I'd like to take a moment to tell you a bit about the Center on Transition Innovations. Our center provides information, resources, demonstration, and research to generate evidence-based interventions to support youth with disabilities, their families, educators, and communities in the successful transition to their post-secondary lives. We were founded in 2013 and are funded by the Virginia Department of Education. Our mission and work is captured within our statewide portal of transition resources, including courses, webcasts, videos, and publications on effective transition practices. We put research to practice through our innovative demonstration projects, whether it is a model of school to work transition in our Start on Success or Project Search initiatives, or person-centered assessment with our Discovering Me process. Everything that we do is with the goal of increased outcomes for students in every aspect of their lives. And today, we will talk about ways to increase career development at the middle school level. The Supported Employment Initiative is a 3-year demonstration project that provides technical assistance to school divisions in building, expanding, and sustaining supported employment services to high school students with disabilities. Today, you will hear from the administrative transition team of Loudoun County Public Schools and the lessons gleaned from our partnership in this project. Loudoun County continues to build the capacity of their knowledge and skills for increasing ability awareness, expectations, family engagement, and effective career development practices within the school, home, and community, with the goal of implementing supported employment programming for middle school students with extensive support needs. Today's objectives include identifying the focus of middle school career development, listing the components for laying a foundation for career success, and they will describe strategies and interventions that will increase effective practices for building school, home, and community capacity. While many associate the transition process with high school that often focuses on preparation and training, it can also begin with awareness activities at the primary level, or as I tend to believe, as soon as a student is found eligible for services. So while high school focuses on preparation and training, and elementary focuses on career awareness, middle school is a time for career exploration, where students begin to learn about themselves, their strengths and interests, explore career pathways, and consider career goals, and create a plan for the future. The project goals in this project address the need that we are facing in the transition of youth, the need to increase employment pathways and improve the employment rates for youth with disabilities, to build, expand, or sustain employment services to improve post-school outcomes. This project in Loudoun County arose from a need to build from elementary student-led experiences and develop middle school experiences that will further expand and bridge to high school, and as a way to provide students equitable access. We know we have to plan with the end in mind. When educators engage students, students are more likely to succeed. The community at large will benefit when students with disabilities experience uninterrupted progress on their pathway to education and employment. Building blocks for supported employment provides stakeholders with a structured process to assist in developing career education for students with the greatest barriers to employment. Through student-focused planning, student development, interagency collaboration, program structure, and family engagement, Loudoun has implemented meaningful interventions to increase capacity across their division. As you will soon hear, Loudoun, using evidence-based practices, has focused on these building blocks to increase awareness, expectations, and effective strategies that will help pave the way to positive employment outcomes for students with significant disabilities. I invite you to learn from their experiences as they share the lessons they learned along the way. And I will pass it to my colleagues, Jenna, Arndt, and Suzanne Burch.
Hi, I'm Suzanne Burch, and I'm a transition specialist with Loudoun County Public Schools.
And I'm Jenna Arndt, and I am a supervisor for special education with Loudoun County Public Schools, and I support transition for the county.
We're going to start by talking about student-focused planning in regards to the transition plan. In Loudoun County Public Schools, we focus on strengths when we are writing and focusing on transition plans. The first thing that we did was we designed a Schoology assessment course that is available to all case managers and special education teachers. In this course, we provided a variety of assessments focused on independent living, career development, interests, and strengths. We also created and piloted a Google Transition portfolio. In the portfolio, case managers and transition teachers upload and include information and data gleaned from the transition assessments that will help us in aiding students in creating a successful life after high school.
So we had a few outcomes from our implementation of these strategies. The first outcome was that so far we've had 574 staff join our Schoology assessment course, which is not everyone, but it's a good start. We have provided a large array of assessments to meet students' needs with transition planning, but we also recognize that there's always room for more. So it's given us more to look into and to continue to add to our assessment portfolio. With our Google portfolio for students, we've tried to increase the use of that portfolio across our schools. So initially we rolled it out with a small stakeholder group and have tried to, over the course of time, increase the use of that portfolio because we believe in it and we feel that it's important for our students to have access to the information being collected so that they can reflect on it and use it when they leave us. We are working hard to track the assessments that we're completing because we don't want to repeat them if it's not necessary. We'd like to make sure that we continue to pull appropriate information from our students and also so that we can ensure that our coordinating activities are being completed. And we're also tracking that through this portfolio.
We are also attempting to increase our student participation in IEP development. We encourage students to attend IEP meetings to ensure that their voice is within the IEP. We also would like to hear from them and what their interests are when it comes to transition. We've adopted student-centered transition assessment analysis. So we really hear from the students and what their interests, strengths, and desires are.
And an outcome from that has been really our focus on targeting career pathways. So we're trying hard to identify specific career clusters that our students are interested in if we're not able to identify a specific career. Also recognizing that a career option or a career choice may change, but that the student may still be interested in that cluster and just looking at something else within the cluster. And we're really focusing on student strengths and the needs to support student advocacy. We are trying to increase the number of students who are participating in their IEP meetings. And we're trying to do that as the students are younger and younger, because we think it's important for them to be a part and have their voice and advocate for their needs within their own meeting.
And next, we're going to talk about student development. In student development, there were a couple of different strategies. In the schools, we participate in CII, and we are increasing those school-based CIIs now due to the pandemic. We were not able to go out into the community as much. So over the past couple years, we have increased our participation out of the community, and we've established collaborative middle school teams.
So an outcome from those strategies is that we have provided meaningful workplace readiness skill experiences to our students. As Suzanne mentioned, due to the pandemic, we weren't able to leave the building during a lot of this time. So we worked very hard to create in-school CII or community independence instruction opportunities for our students. We also provided professional development on CII and worked hard to streamline the process so that it wasn't considered an additional frustrator for teachers, but it was identified as something that was necessary for our students and something that our teachers felt they were able to do. We also worked to strengthen our CTE partnerships and increase our inclusive participation in CTE courses. So we want to make sure that our students are having opportunities the same as their gen ed peers, and meaningful participation in CTE electives is very important as part of that process.
We also pivoted from school-based to student-led enterprises. We increased our enterprises at schools by providing support on how to begin a student-led or a school-based enterprise. We have a transition letter that is sent out on a regular basis, informing the community of all of the wonderful things that the transition teams in the local schools are participating in. And we have integrated related service providers in our transition programming.
And because of that, we've increased awareness and teacher expectations for our students. So we have increased the number of student-led enterprises in middle school to 6. I think we were at 1 when we began this project. And we fully believe there are other enterprises that we aren't quite aware of that are happening within the buildings, but maybe that we didn't support them getting off the ground. And we've also innovatively used our related service providers to focus on workplace readiness skills within student-led businesses. So we have speech language pathologists, occupational therapists, and physical therapists working with our students while they are performing their job tasks within their student-led businesses. So they're receiving their related services, but they're also working on their life after high school workplace readiness skills.
And next, we will talk about interagency collaboration. In interagency collaboration, we have increased those who we are working with in order to provide transition planning. We are working hard with non-special education personnel throughout the county, as well as increasing and expanding our network of professionals who support students in different capacities.
So we have a intra-collaborative framework. We established interdisciplinary teams at the middle school level that included a general education teacher, a CTE teacher, a special ed teacher, a counselor, and an administrator. And we provided professional development to those teams as a cohesive group so that they could understand what we were working on and our mission for including our students and how we could continue to build workplace readiness skills. We have a SEAC, Special Education Advisory Committee Transition Subcommittee that currently has 6 members. And again, we're focused on CTE professional development. So we are working with CTE to provide professional development to their teachers on how to work with our students to make sure that their participation in CTE courses is meaningful.
And we also worked on our program structure. So we worked through intentional personnel considerations and targeted professional development in order to improve the transition planning for the middle schools.
And our goal with this was to increase sustainability. So we are working with vertical alignment of transition specialists with the middle schools. So every high school in our county has a transition specialist assigned, or a transition teacher assigned to it. And those transition teachers are supporting the middle schools that feed to their high schools. We redesigned roles within the transition lens. So we are focused on how we can get the most out of the providers that we do have and the services that they can participate in. And we have provided a year-long PD series with the focus of middle school career development with the help of VCU.
And families are ever important in the transition process. So we have increased our family engagement in a variety of ways. As indicated earlier, we did introduce the Career in Transition newsletter that it is sent out by the county. And we've created a parent Schoology group on transition, and where we have a variety of information uploaded. And we have coordinated targeted events to include middle schools, evening events.
And overall, our outcome has been increased knowledge of transition and increased access to resources. So currently we have, we're receiving over 100,000 hits on our newsletter when we send those out to the community members. We have 133 parent members enrolled in our Schoology parent group, and we're hoping to continue to grow that by sharing information. And we've held 3 parent information nights specifically geared towards middle school families so that they can understand the transition process and why it's important to support their students in it. So we do have some reflections and recommendations that we'd like to share. I would start with the fact that doing this project during a pandemic is not recommended. So hopefully we won't go back there because we really did have to stop and shift and recalibrate when it came to how we were looking at this project. In doing so, though, one of our recommendations is to review and reflect on the data and acknowledge the need for continued growth. We recognize that we have come very far, and through the help of this project, we learned kind of where we needed to go. But we also recognize that we're not there yet, and we certainly have more work to do. Be creative and flexible. Think outside the box, because it's when we come up with our best ideas. And being flexible was of the utmost importance because everyone had to be flexible during the time of this project. But it really did allow us to offer larger opportunity and more widespread opportunity for our students, especially those who maybe struggle with a change in location or transitions from one thing to another, where they can stay in their school building and still receive instruction on the skills that they require. The next one was to listen to feedback from our stakeholders. We found it very valuable to receive feedback from our CTE peers, from our general education teachers, and the other members of the team that we worked with, because they came at this project with from a different lens, and were able to look at it in a way that our special education brains maybe weren't looking at it. So it was great to have feedback from others. We want to utilize partnerships throughout the process because they are a wealth of knowledge. Again, we teamed with multiple different professionals and professional groups while we were doing this project, and everyone came with a different idea or a different set of information or skills that we don't all carry as professionals. So when we were able to combine them, we were able to make good forward progress for our students. And then our last recommendation is strong leadership and shared collaboration. And when I say strong leadership, I mean it in the way that have someone who believes in what you're doing. That's what the strong leadership needs to look like. And someone at every building involved that truly believes in what you're doing and wants to see progress. And then again, collaborating, being open to collaboration and spending time with the other professionals participating in the activities and that are on the front lines doing it, because they're experiencing things differently than you might be, and they will come to you with ideas and modifications and a change in thought that can really move any project forward, and certainly did in our case.
Thank you, Suzanne, and thank you, Jenna, for sharing your insights and reflections as a critical partner in this project to move the dial for transition for our middle school students. Before we leave today, I wanted to share the workplace readiness rubric, which is an invaluable CTI resource to assist educators and families with developing and capturing students' workplace strengths and instructional skill needs. I encourage you to use them with your students in school, at home, and during community experiences. I'd like to again thank you so much for joining us today. For more information about CTI and to view all of our resources, please visit our website at centerontransition.org.